Yeah. So I think it was about four, almost 5 months now, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
was when
Mm-hmm.
I first got into the game and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I just really liked it. Like this game's sick. I'd played a little bit of it like a few years back, but I just didn't have a way of like actually getting into the game, like internet and stuff. But
Yeah.
uh, like as time went on, I kind of was messing around online trying to find some guides and videos and stuff like that on the just to learn more about the game. And I had come across your main channel. I didn't even know you were a coach at first, to be honest. I remember like looking in the comments and everyone was just like, "Bro thinks he's a coach," and I was like, "Wait, what?" So so
That's funny.
after that, I had eventually like done a little digging and found your second channel, and I was like, "Oh shit, this stuff is awesome!" And I think ever since then, I've been kind of like learning a lot from everyone else's stuff,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it. It's kind of simple, I guess. But
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. What got you into the game? Like, I guess seriously, you said you kind of dabbled before, but hadn't really played it before. So was it just your access to an actual functional computer, and then wanted to try it, or what?
yeah, pretty much just not having a PC at the time and like a reasonable source of internet, essentially.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Um, well, welcome to the official grind to Overwatch here. Goals for you is have help and guidance as a newer player. Long-term goals is just enjoy the game and continue to learn and continue to improve. So,
Mhm.
at the time of the forum, you were bronze, and you were an Ash one trick. Is that still the case?
I'm still bronze, but I ended up switching to Genji.
Gotcha. Okay. Break me down the last. I mean, I guess really just like the last 4 months, right, since you've been starting of your hero pool and what you've been playing and why you've pivoted from hero to hero. Because I imagine it didn't even necessarily start with Ash. So just kind of
Mhm.
break me down how that has gone.
Yeah, no worries. Gosh, this is a lot. I've been dabbling with like everyone, so
Yeah, that's normal. That's normal.
I started off on support for a while, and I thought that's what I wanted to main, just because I really like the dynamic of the role and just all of the characters there. I think I started off with Kiriko. She was like the initial hero where I was just like, damn, she's so cool. I want to start with her. But
Yeah.
um, and then as time went on, I kind of slowly transitioned into DPS.
Yep.
I don't think I have a like a concrete reason why. I just really stuck with that. I just kept playing, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll just stick with this. But aside from that, I've just been kind of dabbling with each hero. I think I've got like at least an hour or two, which I saw you give some advice to someone to as a newer player to kind of do that at first. So that's what I stuck with. But it helped me to learn a lot about everyone. Like every character in this game is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think it's good as well because you actually help educate your main. You know, like you start to find out
Right.
what do I really like the most. And so for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I didn't do that when I first started playing. I pretty much just one trick Genji like pretty quickly, played a little Lucy, a little Junkrat here and there, figured that hero pool out.
Oh
And
wow.
what ended up happening is I didn't really discover the characters I enjoy the most until I was like several hundred hours into the game. Like Zenyatta, I didn't understand him all that much, didn't really play him at all. And then I like, oh wow, 500 hours in, 600 hours in, I'm like, this guy's really fun. And then Ana
Right.
was like over 1,000. Like it took me over 1,000 hours to go. Man, I kind of want to just play Ana and Zen. This is before Rollock. I was like Winston, Ryan, Zen main, and I was like, I got tired of playing Winston, Ryan. I was like, I should pick up another support. Let's try Ana. And I'm like, my gosh, this character is actually really fun. I'm like, bro, what have I been doing? Like I should have learned this a long time ago. So, I'm glad
She's
to
so
hear
cool.
that. I'm glad to hear that you've been at least experimenting faster. I think that's like a much more efficient use of your time. So,
Mhm.
now talk to me. I guess the most relevant transition for you is the Ash to Genji. So, and how did that transition happen?
Um, oh gosh, let me think. So initially it was Ash, obviously, and I
Yeah.
thought she was really cool. Like I really liked how simple she felt, and like how she forced me to focus a lot more on like just grounding myself in certain positions and just focusing a lot more on the positional stuff. I guess I'll just simplify it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I ended up like dabbling with more of the DPS as I went on, and I came across Genji, and he was one of the first characters I ever tried, like back when I dabbled in the game a little bit. But I remember my friends being like, don't play Genji. He's too hard for you. Like you're weak at shooters. So like, why the fuck are you playing him? And I was just like, okay. But I was just like, I'm just gonna give him a shot. I don't care what anybody says, and I just kind of stuck with him since then. I really like
Good.
him. He's really fun.
Good. So Genji was almost like something that you might have liked earlier, but you were discouraged from it, and so now you're kind of getting into it, and
Hmm.
that's fine. I mean, so like I think that's like now better now than later. So, Okay,
Yeah.
so basically one trick in Genji, you play around 5 days a week in an hour and a half to 2 hours per day. Is that still the case?
Yeah.
Okay,
2 hours on the weekend just
got
because
it.
of work and stuff.
Yeah,
But
makes total sense. Now, how does your playtime break down? And you've watched my coaching session, so you know I'm going to break it down for you. But I'm curious, like, what does your
right.
training schedule look like?
Okay. So I don't know the time period for deathmatch that I do at first, but it's usually at least one or two deathmatch games, like depending on how I'm feeling, to warm up. And I usually go in with like a goal to like practice a specific thing. And I think after that, I usually just kind of go at it on ranked and stuff for a while. Just keep a goal in
Okay.
mind with that and just play. And uh, like towards the end of the session, like after I get done with ranked, I'll play like a few cooldown games, like on different heroes and quick play and stuff. But that's mostly it.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So, but you are getting in solo queue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Genji, you have a bit of a warm. Now, do you have a routine for Genji warm up routine with Genji beyond deathmatch?
Um, I was doing like the customs and stuff like that, but I got some advice recently to like not do that as much because
Yep.
I think I think I was just focusing on it too much. Like,
Yep.
what's the training room called?
Faxa.
I forgot the name. Yeah, Vexta. That's it. I was
Yeah.
doing that,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
I think Vaxa is useful, but what I would do is I would go into Vaxa with like a specific thing that you want to try. Like I want to practice my 180s or I want to practice my Dragon
mhm,
Blades and so on. I think it's fine for that. It's like a fine code for that, but I would not spend like more than like 10 minutes a day in that, like tops. Just get
right.
used to doing your 180s over and over and over and over again. So basically, you get higher reps on certain things. But beyond that, like in terms of actually playing Genji, it's not really going to help you with that. It's just going to help you with some of the details, like the finer points of the game. Um,
Yeah,
but I wouldn't like it's not playing Genji. You know, it's not even necessarily winning a 1v1. It's just shooting bots that are moving fairly
yeah,
realistically. So, you know, I would say it's fine to use, but treat it like a warm up. Don't treat it like it's going to teach you how to play Genji. You know, and it's
right.
obviously not going to even
I did.
necessarily. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I did end up like finding a different training room that I think I saw it in one of your videos. Someone like recommended it to you and you checked it out
Sure.
and stuff. But
Sure.
let me see if I can find the code for it.
Yeah. Sure.
Just give me 1 second. I think it's called like realistic aimbot trainer or something. It uses like actual maps and like
I
I think every
remember
one of the
that
enemies.
one. Holy crap! Is that one still around? I haven't
Yeah,
seen that in over a year and a half.
yeah, I think it's awesome. Like each of the enemies just kind of keep a certain distance. The more you get
Yeah.
closer, get away from them, and
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to check. If you get the code, send it my way because I'm curious now.
yeah, no worries.
Because I'm pretty sure last I checked, like
Just
a year and a half ago, it had like outdated. It wasn't like a thing anymore. But maybe it's
mm,
maybe they've refreshed it.
yeah, gotcha. Let me pull up my presets real quick.
No worries.
In training, I think I found it. I say that. Do you know? Wait, no, I guess there's a share button right here. Never mind.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice.
Any
Give
luck?
me just a second. Things are kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
yeah,
No
things are just kind
worries.
of loading a little slow right now. My
That
bad.
that's totally fine.
Oh gosh. Okay, never mind. False alarm. I might not be able to give it to you.
That's totally
I
fine.
think
What's going?
I might
What's
have like
going?
I think I just like might have accidentally like deleted the wrong one probably.
Okay, yeah, no worries at all. Okay, so yeah, I mean, regardless, like I think like whether it's a good code or a bad code, like just having something to kind of practice the 180s over and over and over and over again, get your combos, practice blade, and I think especially for somebody that's relatively new to the first-person shooter genre, at least within Overwatch, it's good to get comfortable with the character, like moving with the character, turning with the character, moving your mouse, moving your camera with the character, all those kind of things. So I'm all for it, just as long as it's done within moderation. Okay, so guidance as a new player, long-term goal is to enjoy the game and learn and improve. Now we're going to get to a little bit about what do you feel is holding you back, but I'm actually kind of curious here. When you're talking about, more guidance and what do I need to be doing, what comes to mind here? Because you seem, obviously you've done some of your homework and you seem like a pretty reasonable person. So you seem better prepared than most when it comes to getting into Overwatch, right? So what do you feel like you need guidance with? Besides the stuff that we'll look at in gameplay, what do you feel like you need guidance with?
Mentality is a huge one. Obviously, I
Got it.
know you probably get that a lot, but
Yeah.
it's a struggle.
Okay.
um,
Okay.
not necessarily in a like a negative manner. It doesn't really
Yeah,
harm
yeah,
my
yeah.
like feelings on the game or anything. Like I love the game still, but
Of course.
I feel like I'm very much how do I word this? Like a seeker of affirmation or approval from others, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, makes sense.
it yeah, I think it's not even just the nature of these games. This is the first game I've really played that has like you play on a team, and I've never
Yeah.
done that before. So it, I guess like it's just part of it, like where toxicity comes into play, and I just don't know how to deal with it very well. Because
Yeah, yeah.
the only kind of competitive games that I come from are fighting games. And they're like
Yes.
mostly one-on-one, so you don't really have chats and stuff like that. But this is a completely different ballpark for me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not, the thing is just it's not really a normal life skill that you develop really anywhere else, almost without exception.
Mm.
Like if you think about like what makes communities so strong is the fact that people, have feedback and people that you trust and people that know you and you know them and so on. Overwatch, you're having basically total strangers that are relying off of you, right? And that are you
Right.
are relying on as well, and then provide unsolicited criticism or advice, and then you'll never hear or see from them again. So the problem is not that like you seeking affirmation or whatever from other people. Like that's obviously there are downsides to that as well. But if you're in a real good supportive community, you could be a really important cog of that community that's motivated by that mindset, that you're very attentive to other people's needs and helpful and supportive, and can develop a lot of motivation through the people around you. Like that's not, I wouldn't even say necessarily a weakness, but it is an Overwatch. It is an Overwatch,
Yeah.
and it is in team games, like you said, because that's not always the most useful and productive way of doing things. So
Right.
you have two paths. You have two paths, all right? And you got to choose not necessarily which path, but what aspects of which path do you want to go with. Number one is to completely shut down. To completely shut it down. You know the routine. No match chat, no team chat, no team voice. Focus on yourself, get used to it, and move from there. Not easy to do because in the back of your mind people are still getting upset at you and flaming you and calling you names and getting irritated at you. But you know that you're doing the best that you can. They're doing the best that they can. And like you're bronze and everyone's bronze and it doesn't really matter. The other way of doing things, to an extent, is just get used to it.
Right.
Get used to it. But that's a dangerous one. Like I think like you're gonna need to learn to deal with some criticism, whether it's from yourself or from an external factor. But at the same time, you don't want to make it so difficult that it ruins this game for you, right? So you tell me, what provokes you? What are your thoughts? What is your stance on things so far, or at the moment?
I think so far I might try the second route because I know that the best way to get better with like dealing with things is just constant exposure. And like I've already been kind of dipping my toes in the water with like exposing myself to the social stuff in the game. So, but it's just responding to it. I think it's just this internal feeling of like or urge of I needed to like say something because I just don't like bullies. I guess I feel
Yeah,
like that's where it comes from at my core. But
yeah,
I know
yeah.
that response is what I need to stop because that's what continues the cycle. And I
Right.
know it's not gonna like ruin the game for me probably because I'm not gonna let anybody else ruin my experience of something that'd be ridiculous. But
Right.
um,
Right. Right.
I
Okay.
think mitigating.
So
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, you finish. I'm sorry.
I think just like mitigating my response is like the biggest thing. I think that's just what's perpetuating the cycle.
Yeah. I mean, that's a gutsy thing to do, but I respect it. Now, the key thing for you is going to be what's your game plan? Because you can't say I'm going to do it this way because you know that you're relatively weak to that. Right?
Yeah.
So what's the game
Yeah,
plan?
you're right.
Like how do you it's the equivalent of saying like being like bone thin and saying I'm going to bench press 500 pounds. That's not impossible. You could do that. It would take a lot of work and a lot of time, but you can physically do that almost without exception, right? Like everybody can. But the question is like, what's going to be the game plan to get you to that point? Because being able to just totally tune out trash talk is not maybe bench pressing 500 pounds, but it is difficult. Like it is very difficult. Like I'm not that guy. Right? I'm still working on that myself, right? I'm still working on
Yeah.
that myself. So you tell me.
Maybe. Hmm. Honestly, now that you mentioned that, like maybe mixing both of the approaches that you mentioned would be a good idea. Like starting off with absolutely no voice chat and just kind of starting small and maybe kind of building up that confidence to finally like slowly dip my toes back
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
bit at a time, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is like you could say that like you could go cold turkey. You could. Well, I wouldn't be against it. So here's my feedback. Let me give you two ways of thinking about it. You go cold turkey,
Okay.
but you're very attentive to how you're feeling and how you're responding. And when things start to get really
Right.
stressful, take a step back, take a break, take a walk, stretch your legs, go touch some grass. I think I would recommend that no matter what approach
Mhm.
you get, to be honest with you. But I think that that's probably a really safe way
Yeah.
of doing it. So you go cold turkey, but you give yourself the capability to kind of like limit your exposure so that you're able to handle it and then go from there. Your other thing is to do kind of what you're saying now, which is dip your toes in and go in a little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit, right? I don't know which one makes the most sense for you. I don't think you necessarily have to lock one in. You could try, but go figure it out.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan to be honest.
But
Yep.
I think what I would do is
Uh,
have a plan, right? So that's like, okay, I'm going to start with just like having the chats on and seeing if I can maintain focus during that. So don't just say, oh, I'm going to try to have focus. Okay, what does that mean for you, right? What do you focus on?
right. I guess that
What?
was a little too vague.
Well, no, I'm not criticizing you because I'm just saying like that's kind of has to be something that I want you to consider that like right now. Like I want you to consider after the session, but like right now, what do you think?
Okay.
You tell me. You gonna focus on yourself? Like if so, what are you gonna focus on? Like how are you gonna handle the chat? Like when things get toxic, what's gonna be your response?
Gotcha.
You know, that's kind of
I'm gonna
something
write
again
some of this down so I don't forget. Actually.
that's totally fine. That's totally fine. And then obviously when we're talking about when things go really poorly, let's say worst case scenario, things get really, really sucky, like really bad. Okay, what's the plan? What's the plan when that happens? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I never
Like
thought about this stuff. To be honest.
legitimately, my plan is usually just to go outside, take a walk.
I feel that.
But I don't know. You tell me. You know, so like that's kind of like you're gonna need to find what's your, I hate to say this, but coping mechanism with the negativity and being able to like process those emotions. Because what you do is by doing that is it's not just that you're like avoiding the problem or avoiding the criticism, but you're giving yourself the chance to think through the problem. Okay, this is just stupid internet bozos. It's basically allows yourself to process and divorce yourself from your emotions. Process the emotions, then put them away, go back in. Process your emotions, put them away, and go back in. Now, I'm not a therapist here, but I would say the one, not danger, but thing that you have to be aware of is that you have to have a productive processing of your emotions. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't just
Yeah.
be like, I can't go take the walk and think about how much I sucked, right? You get what I'm saying? So you have to actually think, oh gosh, I have to make sure that the way that I approach things is productive. So what you need to do, ask yourself, is if I say, you're stupid, Genji, kill yourself, you're wasting your time, this is a team game, you're off going by yourself, please group up with the team, and this, random slur here and there. You got to, like, how do you process that? You know, how are you going to respond to
Yeah,
that?
yeah. These are all really good points. I haven't really given it much thought. I guess I
Right.
really was just being super forward with it, and be like, I'm gonna do this. That's it.
Well, I think a little bit of hubris, a little bit of bravery is not a bad thing because that's enough to provoke some change, right? I don't want you to discourage you. Like
Right.
there's a fine balance here between I want to encourage you to be bold and to do these things, but I want you to be bold and prepared. You get what I'm saying? I want you to be bold and prepared. Do bold things with preparation, and you're gonna feel amazing. Like you're gonna feel great. So let's start with that. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but at least you're going to have like, okay, when things go badly, and they will, I know what my plan is. I know what my plan is. And so that's kind of like I'm challenging you to come up with that plan and to put some preparation into that plan, and then execute off of that plan. And you know, the thing that you and I both know is when we're talking about Overwatch bullying, right? Like, and obviously outside as well. The most important thing that you need to do is to try to work on your ability to remain objective and logical about things. You get what I'm saying? It's hard. If you think back to like the examples I was saying where people telling you to kill yourself and play with the team and all this kind of stuff, like, you know, it's silly, you know, it's dumb, and you also know it's wrong, right? Like, as in, dude, you don't want me to play with you. It's bad. Like, I need to be taking an angle, right? Like, I watched this video, right? Right. So the problem is that it's like, I know that I'm wrong, but it still hurts my feelings. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I think.
go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
No, you finish.
I think the thing that really the thing that gets me the most that I'm like mindful of, that I realize that happens, is that when that toxicity does come up, it's really weird. But when it happens to me specifically, when it's like directed to me, my response is little to none. Like, I'm actually kind of alright with dealing with it. But when it's about other people, that's when it kicks in, and my moral compass just starts
Oh,
flinging
I
all over the
see.
place. And
I see.
I don't know what it is. Like,
Okay. Give me an example, in game, if you can, of anything that's
okay.
happened.
So I think this was like a couple weeks ago, actually. I think it was one of my teammates was being flamed by like my tank or something, and I just felt the need to. They were like flaming me as well. They were flaming everybody, and when it was happening
Yeah.
to me first, I was just kind of silent about it. I was like, I'm just gonna keep focusing on what I want to improve and stuff. But they started pulling like my supports into it and stuff, and I was just like, all right, like, this is just shitty. Like, this is such a horrible thing to do to people. And I think just because of the fact that I realize it's such a bad thing to do to others, I feel the need to say something. It's
Yes.
just that core feeling of like the need to stop bullying, because I just don't like it, kicks in.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
It's really hard.
To be honest with you, let's not change that about you. I don't want you to change that. I don't think you should feel the need to change that. Like, if we step outside of Overwatch, imagine if people like you just stayed silent, you know? Why would you want to change that about yourself? Like, that's bravery, that's bold. You're exposing yourself to criticism on other people's behalf. Good on you. The question is, how can you do that with the most maturity? How can you do that? Not necessarily with the most maturity. How can you keep a handle on the situation, keep your head level, and still stand up for other people? And let's just stay in the scope of Overwatch right now. You tell me. So when that happened recently, what was your response? And I want you to be honest with me here.
I think my response was just like, why are we flaming this before? It's like, what? Like, we're literally in bronze. Like, focus on yourself. I think my wording was like reflect, and just that was it. And I just fucking left the chat. I was kind of irritated.
Sure.
I'm just not
So that's it. That's it right there. That's it right there. So your response, was it inappropriate? No. Was it incorrect? Well, not really. No, it was fine. Good response. But do you see how it affected you? That's the thing that we have to change.
It definitely got me riled up.
It got you upset. It ruined the game for you at that point in time. For you, the problem was never how you responded, at least in that particular instance. Maybe you've had some ugly responses. Let's pretend that's not the case, okay? It was not how you responded. It was how you felt after the response. Because the thing you have to understand is, like, as human beings, we're wired to be empathetic. If you are not empathetic, there's something physically, mentally wrong with you, right? So everybody likes to say, "Oh, I'm an empath." Everybody's an empath, jackass, unless there's something like seriously wrong with you, right? The problem, though, is if you let your empathy completely control who you are, and you are strictly controlled by your emotions, not only do you, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this, not only do you compromise your ability to actually help other people because you're more volatile than you have the need to be, but also you're opening up the window to where you're only empathetic, to where you're only helping when you feel emotionally provoked. You know? Why do you have to feel angry for you to stand up for somebody else? You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah.
Like, and because not
Framing it
only
that
is
way definitely, like,
not right, not only does that emotion like sometimes prevent the quality of your response afterwards, but then also like, what if somebody says something that doesn't emotionally provoke you? Is it still the right thing to stand up for that person? And the answer is, of course, yes. So again, it always comes back to like trying to be as objective about these things as you possibly can. And that, to be frank, as a human being, is just not fully possible. But that should be the goal. That should be the goal. So let's go back to your Overwatch example, okay? So you say, somebody criticizes my teammates, it makes me upset, and I respond in a mature manner, but I'm still upset. But then now you leave chat. Do you see the irony in that?
Yeah.
You protected somebody and then just ran away. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like,
that doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not saying that you have to sit in there and argue with them the entire time, but if the whole point was to stand up for somebody and then you completely divorce yourself from the situation after saying one thing, you know, I understand why you need to do that, because you clearly probably are not in a position to be able to handle more tension than what was given, but that should be the goal, right? That should be the goal, right?
Yeah. There was something specifically that I thought about with this, because I never thought about it in the way that you're framing it, but like an approach I thought about was maybe trying to not engage with it still, since like,
sure,
I don't know, I really thought about it. And I was like, man, I guess what I'm doing isn't stupid, but also kind of is, because like the other people can, you know, handle things themselves. They're grown-ups, well, not always grown-ups, but like they can probably handle it themselves. And I feel like
what's the harm of a kind word?
Of
Yes, that's a great point. But what's the harm of a kind word?
Right, I guess so.
So let's go back to your original response and let's frame it better.
Okay.
You tell me. We're bronze, just take responsibility, reflect. You're telling somebody to do something, but what would be the best way of framing it for the person that's under pressure?
Oh, shoot.
Okay, you're trash. You suck. You right here. You Genji player. You're garbage. You're feeding. You're the reason why we're losing. If somebody says that to you, what kind of words would you appreciate? What would make you feel better?
Honestly, maybe just stopping at what you mentioned earlier, just a kind word, and that's it. Maybe.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Doing a great job.
Don't tell everybody they're doing a great job. Right? What should you say instead?
Maybe specifically the people that are.
That's it. Hey, Genji, you're doing a good job, mate. You're doing fine. Don't sweat it. Right? You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, you roll with that. So now you're not in conflict here necessarily. You're instead standing up for somebody else, and you're not emotionally investing yourself as much into it. And you're doing exactly what you said. You're not telling them how to live their lives. You know, you're just saying a kind word. You know, that's it.
And that was something I definitely noticed that it felt like I was kind of doing, was trying to control other people, and I didn't like that, so I stopped doing it. But
good.
It's definitely something I struggle with. But
Good. So I don't want you to control people, but there's nothing wrong with saying the kind word. Okay, and so then let's keep going. So your emotional response after the kind word, right? What now? Like, let's say that you go back and you stand up for somebody, yada, yada, yada. You're kind of frustrated and irritated about it. How do you process that? What's the game plan?
This feels like the hardest one.
Yeah, it is. Part of this is experience. That's the easy answer, right? Part of this is that the more that you do this, the better that you're going to get at kind of like, quote unquote, letting it roll off your shoulders, right? But keep going.
The best thing I can think about right now is just my risk, like the state that I'm in afterwards. Maybe I can just try to put as much of my focus back on myself and the match, and just focus on what's going on.
Yes. In the
maybe just kind of
moment,
letting things take its course.
exactly. In the moment, the best thing that you can do until you can divorce yourself from the situation is to focus on what you can do. Focus on what you can do, which is just play the video game. Do the best that you can. Make it productive practice. Screw the win, screw the loss. Win the game or perform at your best. Practice whatever you're practicing. Screw it. Who cares? Do the best that you can. Do the best that you can. Right? All right. So in the moment.
Yeah,
all right. Now, keep going.
Try a lot of this stuff.
Keep going. No, I know we're throwing a ton of information your way. The good news is obviously you know this. You don't have to do all this, right? This is just spitballing some ideas and getting an idea of what are some things that you can try. But keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
So the match is over. You focus on yourself. You say the kind word. Do you respond to them? Because they're gonna snap back, right? You know they are. They're gonna be like, yeah, you suck too, you know? Like, what now?
Honestly, I feel like eventually maybe I'd want to get to the point where I just don't respond to that at all.
Yeah.
How did I really think about it?
Yeah. Because like, ask yourself what's the productivity out of responding to something like that? Like, what have you tried different responses? I have responded with positivity. I have responded with calling them trash.
Yeah.
I responded with logic. Doesn't work. You can't have a serious conversation with people. They're not in that situation, right? They don't know you. They'll never see you again. So don't waste your time.
Yeah. Because I guess at the end of it, whether it's positive or negative, you're still responding to it.
You're still responding
in the same state.
Right. And the problem, the difference between the kind word and or responding to the negative word is that there isn't really much that you can do in that situation. You could stand up for somebody and say a kind word, but if somebody's actively or turning on you, there's really not a whole lot you could do to make them happy or quote unquote fix the problem. You get what I'm saying? Like that ship has sailed, right? So all you could do is just play the best that you can and don't really worry about what you can do. There's just nothing you can do. So don't engage. Don't engage. Because from that point of time, you should be thinking selfishly. Because if I can't help you, then I need to strictly think about what's going to make things easier for me. That's it. That's it.
Just play a game. Have fun.
Play a game. Have fun. As best as you can, right? So don't engage if they direct it towards you. Say a kind word if it's engaged in anybody else. And then do your best to just focus on yourself and tune it out as much as you possibly can. That's all you can do. That's all you can do, right? Now...
Yeah, this...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say this whole like reframing of this completely kind of opened my eyes. I never thought about stuff in this way.
Well, it makes it a lot less complicated, right? We straight up have like a flow chart. Right? Like it's just, if versus me, I tune it out or ignore it. If versus somebody else, I say a kind word and then I tune out any follow-up response. That's it, right? Like there you go. Congratulations. Like flow chart. Okay, so then let's keep the system going. So you focus on yourself and your gameplay, but what do you do after that game?
Just move on.
Okay, well, like how like what does that mean? Like psychologically, sure, but like, is there any actions that you can take? Let's say it really bothered you, right? Like, let's say you did all the right steps, but you still felt pretty bothered. Now what?
Maybe just touching some grass, doing something else, like
taking a
break for a bit, I guess.
Sure, why not?
Sounds good. A good idea.
Yeah, I mean, unironically, yeah. Like, let's get in the habit of doing that. Think things through. I think also the thing about touching some grass is it gives you a sense of objectivity. One of the best things that I've ever done whenever I'm really upset about something, usually in regards to like my work or the game or whatever else, is this is usually an accident, but I'll like have family over or friends over. I'll go do some sports. And all of a sudden I'm like, dude, why do I care? I'm just like chilling with friends or like, I'm like outside. I'm like, it seems so silly. Like what it does is it provides, it gives you context. It gives you objectivity. And you're just like, dude, why am I caring about this nonsense? Right. And I think that's a really good thing to do because it allows you to kind of, once you feel a sense of like, this isn't the end of the world, I'm not going to freaking die, this isn't like everything to me, then it allows you to kind of process your emotions more productively without feeling like the world's going to end if I screw this up, right? That's kind of the main thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, honestly, I could just really talking about it now. I really makes me realize that I can apply a lot of this stuff to art as well, because that's all of this stuff that I like struggle with in Overwatch. It kind of bleeds over into other parts of my life too.
Right.
The self-worth thing and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's the key thing, right? Is like just to not lose that sense of objectivity and then being able to focus on yourself. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, easier said than done. I hope you know that this is something that I'm still working on myself. I've improved that, but obviously, being in the position that I am, I do get a lot of criticism pretty frequently. I don't have match chat turned on, but I have match
Oh, I
chat
bet.
turned on. But I have match chat turned on IRL, right? With YouTube comments and Reddit and Discord stuff. It's like it's constant, right? And especially with what I'm doing, so it's like there's constant criticism. I'd say about 20% of it is good criticism, fair criticism. About 80% is not. And some of it's just
So you
genuinely.
get all of the exposure.
Oh yeah, and some of it's genuinely mean spirited too. Like some of it's just like it's just that's it. Some of it is just like this is just really dumb. Like I don't really care. But some of it is just like wow, that was really really rude. But that's just how it goes, right? And like you have to be able to either cut down in the avenues where people say that, and so just because it's just not worth your time, or you have to, and really, you have to find ways to be able to process those emotions, to be able to process like your entire response to that entire thing. It's easier said than done. It's something that I'm working on. I've improved that, but I'm still working on it, and that's kind of like how it's going to be for you too, right? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I have to add in
It's
that front.
definitely it's definitely hard. Like I think the hardest part is just you would acknowledge these things, but the moment you get like face to face with the situation, it just becomes so much harder. It's like you get kicked in
Oh,
the
it
nuts. You're
does.
like, damn it, I hadn't
Yeah, yeah, because
yeah.
it's your emotions is what it is. It's your emotional response, and also it's something that you've probably conditioned yourself to do. I mean, this is what makes it so hard, is because you're conditioned to respond negatively to negativity to defend yourself, but it ultimately doesn't really do anything in an Overwatch front. The problem is not that you shouldn't be defensive when people are attacking you. Excuse me. It's the fact that in the context of Overwatch, it just doesn't do anything. You know,
Right.
it's a very unintuitive response, right? Like again, think about like my problem here. Like how many random people come up to you in the street and call you stupid and ugly and dumb and think that you're like that doesn't happen very often. Okay, and it's usually a drug addict. It's like something like a meth addict or something, right? But that happens to me all the time, and in bronze that happens to you all the time, right? So it's just not something that we're conditioned to deal with. And so you kind of have to develop your own system of dealing with it because it's not intuitive. It's not intuitive. Okay. Do you feel like you have a game plan? Maybe not a fully fleshed out game plan, but do you feel like you have a game plan?
Definitely more than I did before.
Okay. Any questions about this?
No, I think I'm good. I don't want to like drag it on more
No,
than it needs to be.
I mean, this is important, right? Like, this is what makes the game fun. Like, this is what it's all about. Let's look at some gameplay. I don't have anything else from your forum unless you have any other questions for me.
No, I'm good. Let me
Okay.
pull up the codes real quick.
Yep, sure.
Had to scramble for some more replays because I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I was like, oh crud, the stupid patch thing. I'm like, oh no.
Kind of crazy that they reverted the Ramontra changes though.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It makes sense, right? If
Sure.
it's unpopular, there's no real reason to keep it. So.
I don't really play much, but what was it actually making him feel kind of rough?
No, people were being dramatic about it. It wasn't really a necessary change. Like it didn't really add anything to the character positively. So like, there's no real reason to keep it. Change isn't good if change doesn't provoke good things because people always hate change. So there's no real good reason for it because people will be like, see, they ruined this character and they didn't actually, but just you might as well revert it. Okay. Now, why this code? Obviously, the recency because all codes got wiped, but I'm brain dead. I tried to just do that in the game code there. Okay, there we go. Wrong import. But why this code out of, I'm sure you played a couple other games.
Yeah, so this was one of the games out of like the few that I did play yesterday that I just kind of got lost. I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to do. And if we do end up going over a second code, you'll see that in my other games too.
Okay.
I got super lost last night.
Okay.
Out of it.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, the best thing that you can do to get out of bronze is to make sure that you have a decent computer with 60 frames per second plus. Do you have that box checked?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a latency that's under 150 ms? Like,
The
are you
usual tier is
laggy?
around like 60-ish.
Okay, that's excellent. Do you have a reasonable eDPI? In other words, what's your mouse's DPI and your in-game sensitivity?
Oh, I think it's 1600. I don't think I changed it.
1600. Okay, what's your in-game sensitivity?
Let me check this real quick. I recently lowered it because I just realized how high it was. It was just kind of hard to make micro adjustments and stuff. Like 2 1/4.
2 1/4. So 2 1/4 and 1600. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. What was it before? Before you
It
turned it
used to
down?
be at like 4.
Okay. 2 1/4. Yeah, that's reasonable. It's actually even a tiny bit low for Genji.
Oh,
I imagine if you have your you could do, I assume, a full 360 with your mouse pad, right?
yeah.
But probably just barely. But yeah, I think that's actually pretty reasonable. So mouse pad's fine. Mouse sensitivity is fine. In-game settings are fine.
Mm.
Now all you need to do is focus on your gameplay, play consistently, and that's all. Your mechanics is going to be the most important thing from here. It's the lowest hanging fruit, but that just comes with playtime. Now what we'll do is we'll talk about what you could be doing while you're practicing your mechanics. But honestly, just play.
All right.
So like right now, your mistake is you didn't freaking hear the echo. To be honest with you, I didn't freaking hear the echo either until it was too late. So congrats. It's not that big of a deal. Go next. What is Genji good at? How do you play Genji? You've watched him videos. We know you have. So how do you play Genji?
Okay. It feels like he's pretty good at like. I don't know if I should always take short off angles, but I feel like the short off angles are pretty good since he's like more of a shotgun hero. Um,
Yeah.
he's really good at like taking those flanks, going unnoticed, so they can get the jump on like squishies or
Okay.
supports or just characters like those.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're not gonna find me disagreeing with that for some reason. Are you on a short off angle?
I think so. It feels like it.
Yeah. I mean, where's your team?
Like literally right behind that bridge.
Are you playing your effective range here? Kind of, sort of?
Kinda, yeah. Like
Kind of.
close
Yeah.
mid.
Okay. So if this fails, it's going to be because your team isn't here. This is fine. This positioning is good. Now, what do you do as they move away from you? Because you've created space here. I don't even know if you realize that, but you've created space. Watch the blue circles. And then I'll look at the blue circles. You see it? That's you. So what do you do
I
now?
didn't even realize that.
What do you do now?
Maybe you try to close a little bit more distance, like now that I
Sure.
have more cover options and stuff.
So the most important thing, I mean, I'm not gonna lie with you, is to not do anything because you need to wait for your tank. Okay.
Oh.
But if your tank is here, and honestly, actually, you got 4 people here. This is good enough. Actually, you could move forward. So then, how would you close the distance? Where would you go? Because you need to keep a short off angle, right? You don't close the distance by going right. So where do you go?
Maybe going around the right side of that house there. In the
So
middle.
here.
Mercy's like right around there too. Yeah.
Congratulations. What's funny is this is the worst option because it takes longer. You get what I'm saying? But is this a short range off angle?
Yeah. Well,
Good. Looks good. I mean, it looks pretty good to me. I know. You're saying this is good. Good job.
Okay.
Now keep going.
I kind of like looked at the distance and wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's not perfect. You
getting
obviously are basically you're setting yourself up for a short range off angle in a second. Is what I'm saying, right? Like you need to get a little closer. But this is a good start. Okay, go back and do it again. Good. Brilliant. Yeah, this is good. You're not doing a lot of damage, but you're creating a lot of space right now. Short range off angle.
The right clicks
Now-
are so much harder to hit than I initially
Yes.
imagined, to be
Well,
honest.
they are. So let's talk about 2 things I want you to be focusing on. All right. One is choosing the right fire for the right range, which I know you're aware of, but keep an eye on that. The other one is being smooth. I want you to watch your crosshair, and this is a bad habit for me that I've actually been working on myself, but watch your crosshair.
Oh.
It's okay, not a big deal, but watch as it continues.
Oh, it is kind of all over the place, huh?
Yeah, it's all over the place. People, when they alternate fire, have a tendency to make too many aggressive, weird movements with their hand. They can make it very
Mm.
flicky and like just jerky. Your biggest thing that you could do both with your primary and secondary fire is smooth it out. Slow it down. Smooth
Okay.
it out, slow it down. Biggest thing I can tell you. All right. So with this kind of stuff right here, relax, slow it down, smooth it out. It sounds dumb to
This,
have that mindset, but that's how you're going to improve your mechanics faster. It's not going to make your aim better instantly, but it will help you to practice more efficiently.
yeah, this is something I kind of struggle with, like in other games too. And I've noticed it happens when I like take a duel or an engagement. Like the moment we start like brawling it out and get up close, I just my hand tenses up and I start freaking out. It does it to me in Valorant too. Like, well, especially in that game. That game's like a horror game.
Yeah. Because everything happens so quickly. There's just brief moments of intense, and there's just long like moments of inaction. With Overwatch, it's kind of flipped on its head. There's constant action, which means you need to bring your zen into the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to be, even in the chaotic side of things, you need to be very calm, very relaxed, and smooth. So like this is fine. This feels a much more smooth approach for me. Even this, like there, you get the sleep. You realize I'm low. I don't have dash. You disengage. This is really good. And then go back and take your angle. You even dash to get there faster. It's fine with me. But this is frantic. This is the kind of franticness that we've seen with your aim, with your alternate fire. Watch this.
Oh gosh.
Right? Just relax. Just relax, right? Just relax. You're bronze. Your mechanics are bad, okay? That's how it goes. But you can, again, accelerate the process of improvement by just relaxing. So your positioning, by the way, good. Again. Relax. See, this is more relaxed. I know it's a bigger target, but it's almost because it's a bigger target, you're less worried about it. Watch this.
Yeah, that's what I was
Track to him. I get ready to deflect, go back to him. This is fine. Feels much more smooth. Even if you're not hitting more shurikens, it just looks smoother.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can get her if you want to. She's only 225 HP. If you can get close to Neko, it's very good. Okay.
Yeah, I struggle a lot against her. I never really know whether I'm supposed to be, up close or she just feels so good at like so many ranges.
Generally up close. You just need to deflect stickies, or make
Okay.
sure that she dies before. Yeah, it's generally up close. So this is just you need to practice moving. You absolutely with double jump need to be able to get over this wall, because this is not a bad setup for you. Short range off angle, but it's very easy to get over that wall. You just need a little bit of practice. So this is where I just want you to play more. Keep playing with Genji. You'll get the hang of it. But what I want you to do is to do what you're doing here, where you're more comfortable. Like, that this is the angle that you want, but you're like, I can't get there. Yes, you can. Keep doing it. Throw the entire team fight. Throw it in the garbage getting here. I don't care. But you have to put in the work. If you go, I give up, I'm just going to put... No. You have to go back. Do it again. Get it until it's done right. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be very long-term with your thought approach.
Yeah, like
Nice.
even if I die for it, I can see.
Even if you
how much I
die
need
for
to
it.
pull back.
Even if you die for it. Yes, you got it. Nice deflect. And again, you're creating space. Look at the blue circles here. I love this from you so much.
Little stuff like this I really like, but
Bam!
it's really hard to
Bam!
realize in the moment.
It is. But you've just totally isolated that Ramacha without taking a single tick damage and only using one cooldown. And then as they back up, you go, okay, let's say the Echo wasn't here. What would you do?
Probably,
Where's the next step?
Like, I guess looking back now, I'd probably go around that wall on the left side where they are and just kind of shoot them in the back.
You could go around here. Heck, you've rotated back here, dash up here and take the engagement from here, or come up top here and take it from there, right? Verticality gives you so many options. I don't mind this. This is good. That's what we talked about with a close range dueling, where you actually get the deflect on the Echo. You just lose her entirely.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's no feedback. Practice. You'll get better at your spatial awareness. GG's. But you know what you did? Okay, you need to stop chasing the Echo here. Because I was about to praise you for being like, all right, I lost Echo, screw it. I'm going to go take the angle over here. And instead you're like, I'm going to go back and kill the Echo. No, it's not your responsibility. Now, why are you peeling on the Echo here? What's your mindset here? Because you remember this game.
My mindset, like, in this situation was just like, I don't want them to mow my supports down, so I was
Yes,
just gonna
yes,
try to like fend them off a
yes.
little bit.
Which was reasonable when you were there, okay? But now that you're not there, it's not your responsibility, okay? It's like saying somebody left the oven on. Should my sister, who lives 5 minutes away, or should we, who are 4 hours away from our destination, go and check the oven? Probably should just make your sister do it, right? At this point in time, who's more worried about their backline? The Echo for her backline, which you should be butchering here, by the way, or you for the enemy Echo? And the answer is, like, if either of you guys peel off the other, you're trolling. You're trolling. Because the question is, are you in a position to be able to stop her? Like, let's say that she walks forward here and gets a copy off. Can you even stop this from working? And the answer is no. If she's got to get value of the flank, it's already done. So when you commit to a flank, do what the flank allows you to do. Don't second guess yourself. Don't do it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely see it now. I just lost a lot of value just in
You
that one
did.
situation.
You did. You did. You missed it. You missed the opportunity there.
Damn.
It's not that fighting Echo is bad. Peeling anything is bad. This is internet issue.
Oh, I was wondering.
Wait, did I miss a deflect here? Oh no, okay. Yep. It's okay.
So,
Good angle, so you're not really at risk. Go ahead.
no, I'll just let it play
Oh,
out.
okay,
It's a question for this.
Gotcha.
I just kind of stayed up here because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be somewhere else, if we're just keep shooting.
Well, you're too far now. So you went here. She goes, oh no, Genji, Cyborg Ninja's here. I'm going to back away. Then you just kind of gave up. Well, what's next? What's next?
I guess I could have just closed the distance, the dash
Ow.
or something.
You could close the distance with dash and deflect. Yeah, it would be the high risk, high reward play, right? If you don't get the combo, you die. But I would rather that than just standing here, right? I really would. But there's another option.
Maybe now taking that wall to the left wouldn't be such a bad idea, to be honest. There's cover, and I could like safely close the distance. Her other teammates wouldn't really see me.
Okay,
Maybe.
you're a wizard. And if they don't see you, you can get out from here. Even if you use your dash to get here, you have your deflect, you have your wall climb, get up, and you're good. You're good. So don't take the initial angle. If they run away from you, well, can I close the distance safely using my kit? Whether that's a wall climb or double jump or dash or whatever else, keep going.
Take an angle and commit. It seems like a common theme so far.
Yeah, because your initial setups are good for a bronze player. They really are. But then the enemy team runs away from you, which is great for your team. It's the reason why you're winning any of these fights. And then you're just like, oh, I don't know what to do. I guess I'm going to quit, you know? It's like, no, keep going.
All right.
Keep going. Let's go. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. But not this way. See, this is not an angle. This is not where we want to be. You needed to go here and then keep up to here, or keep up to here, right? Or go back and do what you did here. And I think you're losing the script here. You know what I'm saying? We've kind of gotten lost in the sauce, and then we're getting beat to death by an Omnic. You know, I hate that so much. Trust it. Oh, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. Trust. Come on. Yes, you did it. Yes. Good. Very nice. I like the blade. I like the blade.
It was so tempting to go for the rest of them, but I was just like, if I can just get this one of them off, I think I'm fine.
I mean, yeah. One kill is fine with blade. Really, you just lost her. That's all. You should have easily killed her. But regardless, because you didn't just waste your dash, and you got a nice deflect here, by the way. Excellent read. And there you go.
I should have been dead here, but oh well.
Yeah, but also, like, you're also bronze. So, like, you're going to make bronze plays, and they're going to make bronze plays on you. Your blade wins the fight. Congratulations. You get one kill. You force the Widow off of height. You force a lot of distractions. Congratulations. Nice blade.
Every time
You set up well for the blade, too. Think about it. You didn't blade in the middle of the enemy team. You bladed up here. And it's just like, oh, man, you could just take your pick. You know what I'm saying? It's good. Good stuff. And you had your deflect, too. So that when the Ana went to try to counterplay you, nope. Good stuff. Like, that blade was actually really nice.
I think the thing I struggle with that ult is that every time I use it, I feel like I'm fucking invincible, but I'm not.
Yes, that's 100% the play. Yeah, 100%. That's very common. This makes a lot of sense because there's nothing else to do, and she was right next to you, so you might as well go kill her. right? This is an appropriate quote-unquote peel, right? Because there's nothing else to do, and you might as well. But then now, yeah, this is good. Get her. Aim here is much smoother than it was in first attack. I don't know if you just got a little confidence from killing the last fight or what, but your crosshair obviously is missing, but it feels like a much more fluid motion, a much more thoughtful motion, right? So this is I don't know how to describe it. I've coached so much Genji, like I could just tell when you're missing because you're bad or missing versus you're panicked. This is missing because you're bad. This is fine. This is fine. Beautiful. Still have your deflect. I mean, this is fine. This is fine. You screwed up your disengage shot, but you went in with dash. She didn't deflect because she just didn't have cooldowns. That's why I was like, man, I'm surprised she didn't use a cooldown here. And then you go to get your disengage rod, and then you just miss the window here. That's all. Like, if you drop out here, you're fine. Or at least it takes like 7 years for you to die. But again, like, dying is not the end of the world. You got a kill. You almost got 2 kills and distracted your team should still win this. Good stuff. Now we're... yeah, look at the progression. Look at the progression. This is so easy for you now. It's so easy for you. That's seriously, that's show. Nobody's there. That's fine. Walk forward. Walk forward. Walk forward. Walk forward. Walk forward. Yeah, walk forward. Walk forward. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Good.
Yeah, she just kind of like turned around after that and was just like, oh well.
Yeah. So one thing that will help you, and this is going to be a bit of a micro, and this is what you should be practicing in deathmatch. I'm going to give you one specific mechanical tip. Okay? How do you use double jump? Everyone gets this one wrong.
Like in duels or just in general?
In duels. In duels would be what I would focus on. Yeah, let's focus on that for now.
So this might be wrong, but from what little I've seen other Genjis do it to me, it seems like they do it when they're really up close to like throw my aim up, and I fucking hate it.
Yes. So what should you do right now?
Just jump all over.
Jump over her head. The reason why, like you said, is because it introduces a vertical element into the game. And this...
jumping over. I never thought about that.
Yes. Very important that you get in the habit of doing this. It's always good. Now, the challenge is, obviously, you do screw up your aim. You do. There's just no question. But it's the same thing as a tracer blink, where you screw up their aim worse than you screw up yours because you know what's coming, and you're going to have a lot of practice jumping over people's heads. They might not have the same level of practice playing versus you. So you need to jump over her head. You have to. Now, the problem is a lot of Genjis make this mistake where they'll double jump and they'll spam jump at this distance. And this just makes you predictable. It doesn't make their aim that much harder. You double jump when you're here. This is when you double jump. You got me? So your mistake here is actually not jumping, as crazy as that sounds in a first-person shooter. You got me?
I think it's just a habit that I instilled of like not jumping because I know it's
at any sort of range, it's bad. But you do want to jump overhead.
Okay.
Yeah. That being said, nice angle. Good stuff. And honestly, the deflect was pretty reasonable as well. The deflect was very reasonable. I mean, this is what good positioning gives you. This is what... No. This is what good positioning gives you. You're a constant threat. You're a constant threat to her because she's like, I got to heal my tank who's 1 HP, but I got to deal with this Genji. Yet you deflect and just back off. It's just very Christmas. Like, you're like, oh, but this is bronze. It's the only reason it's working. No. As you get better, they will punish you more for doing this, but you'll be better at punishing them. This philosophy that you're applying in game right now is perfect. Just get better.
Just iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, exactly. You dash in, even there. You dash in, you deflect out. The only thing I'd say here is I would hold the angle. I know, like, I don't have to deflect. That's fine. Just sit up here, hide up here, right? Be Spider-Man on him. Because now this is too far. You got to go. You got to close the distance. I don't know if you guys will touch. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going here. So my major criticisms so far is relax with the aiming. Don't make it so twitchy. Number 2, when your initial angle is rotated away from, relax and keep pursuing. Okay? Keep pursuing.
Write this down. Can you repeat that last one again? Sorry.
Number 1 is relax with your aim. No crazy snapping, flicking, jerking. Relax and be smooth, even up close. Okay? So number 2 is when you take an angle and they rotate away from you, keep closing the distance. Find another angle. Keep rotating. Be sneaky. Use your dash to get in. Use cover to get in. Wall climb, double jump, whatever. Keep going.
Okay. Got it.
And then from there, the final thing I'll give to you is make sure that in your 1v1s, you're practicing your double jump over people's heads.
Okay.
Finally, for your philosophy, don't be scared of making mistakes while you're trying experimenting, either with your cooldowns or with your position. It's totally fine.
Jumping over. It really is kind of like a tracer blink, like blink behind them, shoot, blink to the other side, shoot.
Okay. Let's do a few more minutes. You got time for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's keep going. This is really good. Deflect. Just bad. Deflect. If you deflect, instantly dead for her. Instantly. You destroy her in that 1v1 if you hit that deflect. You got me?
Mm-hmm.
You notice that even without the deflect there, you're still actually, you're eating every single sticky and still almost beating her. I mean, you just do a lot of damage up close. This is fine because she's close, so it's fine. There have been times when chasing Echo was bad. There have been times when chasing Echo was good. It was just because she was close there and previously she wasn't. That's all. I like this. I like this. This is good. Just keep shooting. A little bit early in the deflect there versus whoever you're 1v1ing. And I think if the fight's lost, it might be better for you to go for a trade kill instead of backing up.
Okay.
So here, for example, you'll catch the wave respawn. So I want this Zen dead. I want this Widow dead. You know? Make them die.
Situations like these where like where we're near point and my team's gone and it's just me, I just don't know what to do. Like
Well, just die.
I guess it depends. But...
Just die. It's fine. It's okay. Get a trade. Die and get a trade. If the fight's lost, it's okay. Reset. Either reset by fully backing out, like all the way out, or get a kill. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Resetting here. Dying is not the end of the world. It really isn't. If your fight's lost, might as well just go.
Yeah.
Now, what'd I tell you? There it is.
Damn. She just exploded.
Yeah, she did. Because as they get better, they won't shoot their stickies into you immediately, but it gives you a window of time where you can hit an extra set of shurikens, and it's really hard for her to win it. So the only time where, like, Genji struggles into Echo, but Genji struggles into Echo when she's playing more like mid to long range, just kind of poking you out, right? But you do really well in the 1v1 at that range. Okay, where's your short range off angle?
Shoot. Man, I didn't realize how far he was up. I could have just gone right in there. Probably just getting closer to their team and just going ham on their Zen and Mercy right there.
This is your short range off angle, or this is your short range off angle. You notice I'm kind of vague with it because you know what? This entire space you can play. Lots of cover, lots of verticality. This one a lot less verticality, but there's still cover and there's a mini health pack. Yeah, you need to go. There you go. Now, obviously, Doom's coming after you here, but that's not the end of the world. Okay, let's go. Don't chase, don't chase. In other words, don't go out of your way, like with the Echo, because he's still creating space. You notice that? And you're not killing him either. Where should you be? You see you're floating. You notice this? This is where...
Yeah.
This is the panic, okay? When this happens, just try. Okay. Just try stuff. Just try stuff. Just give it a shot, you know? Will this work? I don't know. Will this work? I don't know. Will wall climbing up and over and flanking out behind work? I don't know. This is just as bad as dying. You know? This is... You might as well be dead here. And so by the time that you're here, which is a little far, right? But at least you're kind of trying to take some action. It's almost too late, right? You've already lost your Diva. You've already lost your Baptiste, who's now a Moira. I don't know if this is going to be enough at this point. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, a friend of mine has been trying to help me with this recently with my downtime. It's like a really bad thing for me right now.
Yep. Because you're thinking about your angles, but you're not decisively committing in your setup. And so the problem with that is not only are you throwing the fight, but you've learned nothing. What have you learned? What have you learned? Right? Like, what did you learn about this fight? What didn't work? What did work? I don't know, because you did nothing. So there's nothing to learn from. You want to laugh?
Yeah. I feel that. I've done that too.
Go get her, go get her, go get her, go get her, go get her. She's close. Yeah. It's okay. I think you still might get her, actually. Oof. That's okay. Good stuff. You won that HP trade. It's a win. Oh, you're the GOAT. That's good. Good stuff. Now go, 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 go. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Yep, 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 yep. Yes. Bless you. This is perfect. You know what the mistake was? You just suck. That's all it is. You just missed. Look at this. She's right there. That's it. But you know what's good? The good news is it's a perfectly set up blade. Perfectly. Well timed, good angle, good target. You didn't even waste your dash or your deflect. This is great. Just hit the second chop next time, right? Does that make sense? Are you still there? I might have lost you. I can't hear you if you say anything. I think the student DC'd here. Well, we'll go ahead and call the review right there for the recording. I appreciate y'all for the support. Make sure to shout out the student in the comments. Obviously, somebody that's been putting a lot of time on developing themselves and improving themselves, and it definitely shows with how they're setting things up. And this is some of the best strategical bronze gameplay I've seen in a while. Yeah. I lost you. You back?
My bad. Yeah.
No worries. Okay. Did you hear what we said about the blade?
No, you might have to repeat it. My bad.
No, that's fine. Are you back in stream?
Yeah, I'm good.
Did you see your kill in the Echo?
I don't think I did.
Oh, let's enjoy it. You missed a good one. Bam. Nice.
Wow.
Set up our angle on the blade. Nice. Close range off angle. Coming in with deflect and basically full HP. And your problem here, I was saying, really respectfully, obviously, is that you suck. You just missed the chop. You totally lost her. But you know what? Man, what a blade in terms of your setup, right? Like, this is like the strategical textbook blade. You come in with full HP, deflect, on and off angle, well-timed, on backline. You could not ask for a better blade. If you're even a little bit better here, this is the 3K. This is Mercy down, Zen down, then Widow down. It happens. You even have the wherewithal to go, oh no, I messed up badly. I'm just going to keep myself alive and then re-engage, right? It's really good.
Gosh. Yeah.
I think my only critique here would be
That is something I'm kind of like out of. Like...
Yeah. The only thing I'd say here is don't re-engage so soon, because essentially you don't have your deflect, dash, or full HP yet. So I really like how you're approaching this. I just don't like when you're approaching this, because you don't have any tools here. You see this? So you're actually at a great spot to take this 3v1, but you, again, need tools, and you just don't have tools for that. Let's finish this off. I want to see one more juicer. You're learning. You notice that? You've started to deflect here. She's too far. Find your angle. Where are you going to go? Where should you go?
Gosh. Can you like use the free camera real quick? It's kind of hard to see.
No. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Because you don't. Because
okay,
you don't have information, right? You don't have information. You got to predict. You got to predict.
Right. I can see some of my team like right there, so obviously they aren't really pushed as far up, but maybe I can just go right back through the castle again, or maybe take this high ground on top of it.
Yeah. You got it. So let's see what happens. Oh, there it is. You see it? Castle or high ground would have worked very well. You got it. So you're not even looking at what the enemy team is giving you and then responding. You're predicting, and you predicted correctly. Better than this. This ain't a close range off angle. This is a long range off angle. No sniper Genji. And now it's like we're getting closer, but it's too late. You see this? Like this, that's a good play. That's a freaking good play from you. Where was that 15 seconds ago? You know what I'm saying? That's the problem here. Even this is good. This is good. This is really good. Close range off angle. Killing two. Pop it off. You got it? But where was that? Where was that? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I actually have one more question. Where was your Moira again?
It happened again.
The same spot. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, now I gotta know. Like, I gotta know the physical exact spot.
That's insane. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Disaster.
Dude.
Okay. So you took notes on what you need to practice, correct? Read them out.
Okay. Let me pull them up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So relax with aiming, not as twitchy. Just try not to be as tense when you get up in those close range engagements. Just try to remind yourself just to like relax. It's okay. Number 2, when enemies rotate away from your angle, keep pursuing. Don't give up. Find an angle and commit.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 was practice a little bit of jumping over people's heads in deathmatch.
Mm-hmm. 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 Last thing I would say for you would be don't chase people too much. Take what's convenient on your angle. Don't feel like you have to help your team by chasing a target around the map, right? You help them if they're there. If not, you're good.